video. In this video, we'll be saying about the questions you might get from the last video. In the last video, after you see, you might have thought, why are we installing this Anaconda navigator? What does it do for us? Why only Anaconda navigator and not other things? In this video, we'll be covering all those questions you might get from my last video. Welcome to Python with PN Solution, and let's go right in. Now, what is an environment and why is it used? Now, this Jupyter notebook is in the Anaconda navigator and it is also an environment. To give you a basic example of what an environment is, let's say that you have a mobile phone. Now, you need to make a call to your friend who's studying abroad, and you want to tell him something about your other friend's birthday, a birthday party which you want to throw to other friend's birthday. So now what are the things you need to make the call? Number one, you need a SIM card to make the call. Then you need a good network coverage, and you also need the content which you are going to speak. And out of all of this, the most important thing, the calling app. Now, the environment is nothing as same as the calling app. Like, if you want to type a program, you need an environment where the program works out. So, to be in a more advanced state, the definition of an environment is the state of computer usually determined by programs are running and basic hardware and software characteristics. Now, a programming environment may include a number of additional features such as animation and then video editing and so on, but Jupyter Notebook does not include all of these. Now let's see what is Anaconda Navigator. Now, Anaconda Navigator is another app, as I told you, and it is a desktop GUI which is an app that comes with the Anaconda Individual Edition. Actually, there are two editions, Anaconda Individual and Anaconda for Business. Anaconda for Business is used by many people, like a company which works towards this. Now, Anaconda Navigator is growing very popular as it is used by many data scientists who are also growing very popular. Now, this Anaconda Navigator has many apps such as Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook, IP Console, Spider, VS Code, Lewis, and many others. So all of these are combined into one application, and it manages all of these packages. So many of them use the Anaconda Navigator to open many apps. Now, why should we use the Anaconda Navigator? This is hence the most important thing in this video. You might ask, why do we want to use the Anaconda Navigator, or how does the Anaconda Navigator take about the other environments? Now, Anaconda is popular because it brings many tools used in data science and machine learning just into one install. So it has a very short and simple setup. Now, the reason why we use the Anaconda Navigator is that it is very easy to install packages in Anaconda Navigator, and it is very user friendly. So it's very easy for you to use the Anaconda Navigator and not like other things. And even if you uninstall the Anaconda Navigator and reinstall it again, all your programs will be safe in there. Now, you might ask a question, okay, you say Anaconda Navigator, then why do we use Anaconda Navigator, and what not Jupyter? Why not Jupyter Notebook? Why can't we download Jupyter Notebook alone? Now, before that, let's see what a Jupyter Notebook is. The Jupyter Notebook is an open source web application. It's actually a web application that allows you to create and share documents that contain live code, equations, visualizations, and narrative text. Now, some more things to add on is that Jupyter Notebook is very popular because of its fast runtime, and because it's the most user friendly for beginners. It's mostly used by beginners, and so it's very user friendly. Now to the main question, why can't we download the Jupyter Notebook alone? Now, Jupyter Notebook has collaboration with Anaconda Navigator. Thereby, you have to download Jupyter Notebook first, you have to download Anaconda Navigator first, and then with Anaconda Navigator comes Jupyter Notebook. There are actually many other ways by using exe to install it, and then there are many steps, but it's a long process, and it's not as good as the one which comes with the Anaconda Navigator. So we always use the Anaconda Navigator to get the Jupyter Notebook. Now you might also have a question. Now that Anaconda Navigator has GUIs, VS Studio, Jupyter Lab, why are we using the Jupyter Notebook rather than all of those? As I told you before, Jupyter Notebook is very user friendly, and it's easy to compile code and very easy to execute code, as the code executes there itself. But if you see in others such as Jupyter Lab and then VS Studio, the code exists in a different tab, not in VS Studio, but in Jupyter Lab and Spider, the code is typed in one tab, and the code is executed in another tab. So why, this was the question, why Jupyter Notebook in the Anaconda Navigator, and what if I cannot install Jupyter? Now this is a very common question. What if I cannot install the Jupyter Notebook? Can I use something else? Yes, there are many options. Now I would rate PyCharm and Visual Code as the topmost, but all of these, I've used all of these, and this ideally can be downloaded ideally from the Python, ideally from the Python website. If you cannot install the Jupyter Notebook, or you don't like the Jupyter Notebook, do comment below. I will give you links to whatever you ask from this. So what all you can use as online compiler from Programmist, which will look like this, and then the ideally which the Python gives, which will look like this, Sublime Text 3, which will look like this, and Atom you have to log in, and Atom is also like the Jupyter Notebook, but Tony actually, PyCharm looks like this, and Visual Studio Code looks like this. So thank you for watching the video, guys. Please do like, share and subscribe.